Oh my god, my volume was down this whole time? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I did not know my volume was down that low. I was looking at another input, and so I get for taking off my glasses. Alright, I hope you guys can hear me now, if there's anyone even there. I did fix the audio. Let me at least post. Alright, well, if you're turning, I had my sound off. That was my mistake. I was looking at the wrong level. Because my microphone on the laptop camera obviously catches, but I could see that level for that one, but I have it muted, but I couldn't see the mute. Anyway, it's all my fault. It was my fault. Anyway, I'm going to try putting these here and see. I'm going to do this one. Do this first, because I think this will give more room for it to flex. And I believe that's where they go. I mean, it doesn't have instructions, but not like it's super complicated. So we're going to have to try to keep all 8 of these in place while we put the top on, so we can screw through. That should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. Alright, we got those. Alright, one more right there. Alright. Alright. These need to go on the other one because we're going to come from this way. Alright. So. Oh, shit. Sorry. Well, so anyway, while I was rambling on and my mic was mute, I was talking about how the Epo maker, they just released, they have this new line called the Theory line. Theory. And it's basically just other reband boards. The 68, I believe it's called. That's the Ducato. The N66, or is it the TH66? The TH80 is what was known to many of us as the Keyjuice NJ80, which I've made a video of. I've actually made 2 videos. The first one I got was had a whole column dead, I believe. Alright, this was dead. Looks like we're going by hand. Let me at least plug you into charge. Yeah, nothing like having a USB-C. Everything should be USB-C. That's my opinion. Right. So here's the little screwdriver that came with it. We'll be using this, I guess. It's tight. So there's no metal nub in here, but I mean, obviously, as long as it's grabbing onto the bottom, that's all that's really going to matter. I'm just sticking the tails out of this, so I can line these puppies up with a. Oh, I already see it. So, let's keep putting these puppies in. Yeah, sometimes I will just ramble in different accents. I call it my time in drama club as a high schooler. Just silly like that. My wife and kids actually, almost always, I won't say always, but very often actually like my dad jokes. My kids' friends actually say, you know, your dad actually has some pretty good dad jokes. He's made me laugh. I've actually seen some of my kids' friends, like, I'll tell a joke and they cover themselves up, like they cover their mouth and everything. They don't want to, like, show they're laughing at my joke. Like, I can't laugh at her dad's joke. I must stop. And the more they hold themselves, the more I just look at them and end up making them laugh, like, really hard. And they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Laughter's fine. If we had more laughter in this world, I think we'd have a much better place. So anyway, while I'm doing this, if anybody's watching that's never seen our budget keybs on Reddit, I would suggest you go and pay a visit if you like keyboards, and especially if you're frugal like myself and many of us on the sub are. And we don't gatekeep. I mean, not that RMK is all about gatekeeping, but there's a certain, forgot one more screw. So that's the extra screw. Yeah. Not that RMK is all about gatekeeping and elitism, but it does exist on there, and there's a reason this sub has grown. I'll say ours because it's not mine. I may have created it, but it's of the community, and that's how I feel. And I try to do my best to help out folks as much as possible. So if you've got questions, we don't shame noobs. We don't give anybody grief for asking questions, because I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere, right? So, all right, we got 1, 2. Gotta make sure these. Oh, see. Oh, I thought I had it. At least I had it started. It had gotten through to the. But I need all of these lined up at the same time. So we're gonna have to come down super slow and straight down, so we are nice and aligned. Alright. Just want to make sure audio's still going through. I can't believe I did that. I really can't. Alright. So, to keep it right. Let's try to get the corners first. Let's see what we got. That one just needed a little bit of finessing. Ah, shit. Okay, we wanted to see a keyboard build off the top of your head. I'm not going to be able to do this without. Alright. Ah, I see where it's at. Alright, let me see. I might be able to. Let me see. Get there. Just a little bit this way. Back down. Almost there. Almost there. Back up a little bit. The one washer that took bad bark down. I'm sure. Oh, I pushed it through, didn't I? Nope. Right. Nope. It's going through. Oh, I got it. All right. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that. That's in. Yep. In. That's a satisfying pop. I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. It seems to make the board shut better. So I'm just going to make sure that the top and bottom stay together, but also have that room to give the gasket space to flex. I don't have to worry because there are metal inserts, so I'm not going to be stripping any plastic. All right. Oh yeah, there's definitely more flex now. Oh. So a little bit of that sound, but I think once we put everything else together, I think we'll be okay. I think everything just has to settle in. There's definitely room for flex though. Almost tempted there might be actually a little bit of room. Yeah, a couple of millimeters anyway for some acrylic, but that's for another day. Today we're just going to stick to a stock of this. All right, so now let's go ahead and put the might be an EVA foam. Oh, not backwards there. Come on, bad mark. Fits nice and snug in there, and then there we go with the plate, polycarbonate plate. And it's actually, I mean, it's a little heavier than you'd think it'd be, but it's still quite light. So, I mean, silicone really speaks to me because it still allows the RGB to shine through, and it would give it some heft, plus take care of that. But that said, let's go ahead and just get a few switches in on the corners. There it is. All right. These these were from the KT Republic sale. So right now I'm just going to do a few switches. We all need more flex in our life, Pigeon. Sorry, it's either working on this or working on the screen, so I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize if I can't chat. I'll try to answer questions, though, over audio. So, yeah, so here we got, these are the pre-lubed Akko Lavender. If you haven't tried them, even the non-lubed version, and you like tactiles, I'd say give them a go. Especially if you're in the U.S., buy them from Amazon. You don't like them, send them back. But I doubt you will. Well, depending. If you like, if you like tactiles, these are good tactile switch. And these were much cheaper than they should have been, but I think they normally sell for 20 the pre-lubed and 16 for not lubed. Don't quote me on that. I get prices mixed up in my head. So I'm going to try to do the corners right now. I usually test the ports firsthand, but it all looks good, the soldering on it. I'm just going to put here in the corners, get these puppies in. Alright. And again, this is a south facing. This is a $60 keyboard, south facing, gasket mount, and it's also QMK VIA. Come on. I'm on Linux, so yeah, I have virtual machine and I can use the Chinese software. It's all white label. It's all pretty much the same. There are a handful that are different, but on a virtual machine, and modify my keyboard and save it to the MCU. But it's so limited, and it's why should I have to have a piece of software installed for every different one of my keyboards? It's just ridiculous. So QMK VIA just gets rid of that. It allows you to have one program. You can already, you can save your configuration files, you can create layers, and if you really have the time to do out the mapping, you can do per key RGB. Now, granted, you got to make sure the MCU supports it, and it has to have 32K of ROM at least, I believe. For anything, because it's having to store all the memory of all it takes up space anyway. So, next thing. Now, I am going to do the stock. I'm not going to do the Plumber's mod, which you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do the Plumber's mod. I hate not doing it and having to take them off and come back. Never mind. I changed my mind. I'm doing the Plumber's mod. Why? Because I prefer it. I like it. It works for me. So, I'm going to check the bar, make sure it's pretty close. It's not perfect, but alright, there we go. We straightened it out. Alright, so let's take these puppies apart. Yeah, these don't need to be clipped, but they do come obviously dry. Housing for you. Let's not lose these. Alright, so let's take all these out. So, alright, so stock plus the Plumber's mod, but I just like using the Plumber's mod on any stabilizer. It does the trick. I'm not going to need all of these. Nope. I only need 3. That's all I need. Oh, there's my house breathing and gurgling. It's an old house. Gotta love old houses. Alright, so 1, 2, that's all I need, 65%. So I got some extras. them away once I'm done. Let's get the tape. Let's do the fun part. In my opinion, the Plumber's mod is better than the Holy mod. I've had the Holy mod come out after a while. I've had fitment issues to where I'd go from a rattly space bar to a space, or a rattly stabilizer to one that literally, was mushy and was slow because it was binding. The reason that I like Plumber's tape over the Holy mod, for one, I believe the Holy mod takes more time. For two, the Plumber's tape allows you to adjust the tolerance. So if it's still wobbly and loose, you add more tape. If it's too tight, you take away the tape. So whereas the Holy mod gives you one size, and if that one size, if the tape or the Band-Aid or whatever, because there's different things you can use. Now you can try different materials, different tapes, medical tape, Band-Aid, whatever, and see, because they're going to be different sizes, and it's going to affect the tolerances differently. But with the Plumber's tape, you can just use one material and you can adjust to the size that you need. So that's my reasoning. Let me get the nice little scissors. All right. So and I usually stick to 3 wraps, 3 full wraps. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3. And cut off all the extra. Never go past the elbow. And then I like to roll it. Basically, this is Teflon tape. It's Teflon in a solid format. So it adjusts. That's the other thing. That's why I like it, because basically I try to get just enough for it to be tight, but then because it's silicone, it's going PTFE. It's going to make itself work inside of the space that it's in. See, when you do that, you want to make sure that your surface on here is as flat and even as it can be, and that one got messed up. And the trick to it is wrapping in the same direction. So I'm gonna screw up a few times here, so maybe it'll help you guys to see, how to do it, not the easy way, because it's not necessarily easy. It's not hard. It's just, you just have to primarily just have patience. And this one is a little short, but it's not that much of a problem. All right, so we got 3 wraps. We're wrapping this way. So I'm going to keep doing it, but you don't want to do it so hard that it starts tearing, because then, you have issues. So we're doing this one, and we're trying to get it as even as possible. Those little lines are actually my fingerprints. That's how, sensitive it is. I don't know if you guys can see little lines in there, if it'll focus, but it's actually the ridges of my fingerprints leaving little lines. So that's why I like the Plumber's tape line. Hey. It, I believe, is the best, and it's the best for fitment when it comes to putting it in. So alright, let's do the other side. Make sure the tape doesn't roll away. I did that one time. I lost almost the entire tape roll because it just kept rolling, like the meatball that rolled off the table. Just kept on going. It was going for a trip and leaving tape behind. Thankfully, these are fairly cheap. Your local hardware store should have them for less than $2. I want my $2. 2, 3. All right. Cut it off. Turn just to tighten it up. You see your fingerprints on there if you have them. Who knows? Some may not. I think there is a condition, it's rare, that some people are born with flat No fingertips. People are like, oh, they could get away with crime. Yeah. People get away with crime nowadays anyway. It doesn't matter. Huh? Where is... Sometimes it gets a little bunched up. I prefer to pull it out like that so I don't bundle it all up. Make sure to stay in frame here. Bad mark. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, as long as you clip off the bottom and you don't go past the elbow. Oh man. You're going to be okay. So I do have a pack of Duroc plate stabilizers, another video that I have planned. Oh, and Pigeon, I am working on your keyboard. I just haven't finished, so I'm not going to have the video until it's done. Yes, it definitely building if you don't have patience, I don't see building keyboard as a hobby that would probably match. I mean, it definitely takes patience. That's for sure, because there's some things that just they take their time. All right, so 1, 2, 3. More and we'll be done. All right, 2, 3. This one might need to be redone because I wasn't patient, but I may be able to fix it. We'll see. Let's see. Oh yeah, that one's fine. Sweet. One more little bit to cut off. All right. One more little bit. Come on. There we go. That one was a little bit more of a pain than I wanted it to be. But, oh well. Sometimes I've had to redo one like 2 or 3 times. It just, it's probably me, not the tape or the bar. I mean, because I end up getting it and it works. So yeah, I always start with 3 wraps, and that usually works. If it's still rattly, take it off and ramp it to like 4 or 5 times, depending on how rattly it is. Usually I don't need to go past 5, and if it's tight, I would go 2. I never needed to do, I mean, even on a stabilizer that sounds pretty good, I can do 2 and it doesn't affect it. I mean, it doesn't affect it negatively. So I think 2 is probably the minimum, and 5 is probably the maximum. So that's why I like to stay right in the middle with 3. And in most situations, 3 works. It just does. So yeah, I'm interested in getting a hold of the Lychee G96Pro or the Ducato VN96, not the Epo Maker version. And I want to see if I can just flash QMK on there if it'll work. Because from what I'm reading, they're the same chipsets. They're just flash with a different firmware. So, but until I can confirm. See, now right here, this one was short enough that I did basically 3 wraps. Let me see if we can straighten her up. Alright, I'm taking it off framed so that the leftovers won't land on the PCB. So yeah, there's 2 wraps, or 3 wraps basically. Just give it a bit of a skin. Like I said, if you're doing good, if you have good stabilizers, you probably can get away with 2 wraps, and it's just gonna make them smoother. Because like I said, this will adjust 2 sides, and that's why I like it. And I mean, I believe though this one takes time, I think the Holy mod takes a lot longer. So when you're modifying the housings, when the situation is because the tolerance is inside because of the bar. So, all right, we went like 3.5 on this one, but let me see. Oh yeah, this one's not going to work. See how it's all bumpy and, well, yeah, it's not. Actually, I'm going to take 1 layer off. I think we can, or half layer. Yeah, let's try that. I think we can fix it. Like I said, we want it to be as even as possible. Because if not, it'll be like, you know, spots where it's loose or spots where it's binding. So the best we can do to make it as even as possible on top of the bar. I think that will actually work. I think we're good. Yeah, I think that's good. If not, we'll come back and do it. Alright, so Super Lube, which is what I use. I know. People be like, but what about Krytox? Well, for those who have followed me for a while, you know how I feel about that. So I'm not going to get any further into it. So let's go ahead and get these housings ready so that we can dip and stick. Alright, that one looks good. Yeah, the only thing this one, I mean, they could have done more with, in my opinion, would have been including the ability to do screw-in stabilizers. I don't think it would have been that much different, especially, you know, since they're not including the stabilizers. They've just been making holes on the PCB, but, oh, never mind. The way they designed this PCB, there's no way to have holes. There's traces. Right where you need the holes. So yeah, it says Block Boy on there. I meant to show that off earlier, but I would have been talking and no one would have been hearing me because I didn't realize the right mic was actually muted. All right, so we dip it and we stick it. Make sure to line it up. Goes through to the bottom hole. Yep, there we go. Sometimes it's a bit of a, oh, that's right, sorry, doing it way too close to myself. Alright, let me grab it, stick it in, make sure it goes through both holes, and then we turn and clip. So now we have, yep, stabilizers that well, they move. So, but there's no rattling as they would if they were loose. So let's go ahead. See, these go this way. Yeah, I think they I think they'll benefit from tape. And all right, so stock minus Plumber's mod and tape mod, Band-Aid mod, whatever this was called, because let me go ahead and just make this a little easier on myself. Yeah, they're loose in here. We're gonna need the tape mod. So let's go ahead and pull these guys out. Easier to tape the plate when it's not on the actual keyboard. Oh man. All right. So, all right, so now we've got the medical tape. I don't necessarily like cutting Band-Aid. I guess it's just a quirk of mine. I was like, wait a minute, I just had the plate. I didn't get up. Where did it go? That was pretty silly of me. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to take this tape and just cut some strips off. And then we're going to apply it. Actually, we'll apply pads while we're at it. Heck, why not? So, okay, so this isn't completely stock because I just can't help myself. I know I'm going to come back and do it anyway, so, and they're minimal. I mean, we're not doing a Tempest mod, so I think for the most part, you're going to get an idea of what this sounds like stock, or at least, you know, minimally modified. So, let's just cut some strips right now. Oh, let's actually cut them. All right, I'm not the best of straight cutters, but they're not going to be straight, but some of these were for the PCB, and some of these will be for the plate. So we're just going to be cutting some of these. Holy crap, your girl could do the holy mod in 10 seconds per stab. I mean, 10 seconds per housing, or 10 seconds per both stabs. That's pretty fast. I mean, if you can do it that fast, well, That's what Pigeon just said in the chat. I don't know if I'm keeping anybody else's attention. Oh, concurrent viewers too. Top 15. All right. I will edit this and make a nice cut video of it as afterwards. I've got so much video. I've got a list of videos that's longer than the list of videos I've created, and another half dozen, maybe more, of videos that I've created, but I just haven't fully edited yet. So it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just a lot of work. I mean, I was like, oh, I'll get these 2 or 3 done this week. Get half of one done. It takes time. It takes time. I mean, and I know I'm not the best of producers, but you know, I think I get by. I'd like to believe. I mean, a few people think I do. I mean, I got a handful of subscribers, and I appreciate it. I've never asked anyone to subscribe. I don't like it when videos get in my face and don't forget to like and subscribe. Please don't. You know, if I ever do that, slap me with a trout across the face. If anybody catches that reference. I mean, I know monetization, but I'm not here. I'm not looking like, oh, I'm gonna make money off of YouTube one day. No, that's not what I want to do. I enjoy doing this as a hobby, and I love sharing it. And the fact that people are watching, I mean, hopefully they learn. I mean, a lot of people seem to appreciate all the commentary and suggestions I have, and I mean, I know that I'm fairly opinionated, but I guess some people appreciate me for who I am, and I appreciate that. Holy crap. Well, if you can catch that on video, I would love to watch that. That's pretty crazy, because it took me roughly 5 minutes per stabilizer, roughly. I wasn't timing myself, but it took me a minute. It took me a minute, that's for sure. Alright, so now I'm doing this for the stabilizers, so they will be a little bit more snug. Like I said, I noticed that when I first pulled it out, because this plate is, I'm going to say it's probably 1.2 millimeters thick. Not really going to reach for my caliper and measure at this moment. I want to get this puppy done. I'm excited to see what it's going to sound like. I like I said, yes, I know it's not perfectly stock, but come on, sue me. I think you guys will get the overall, intention of what it sounds like. So at least I hope. And this one. Alright. Right here. Much easier to put the tape on when the plate is off than when the plate is on, because they like to come off. But once you get it on there right, stay on there. I mean, this is one of my favorite and one of my most used mods. I've done it practically on every board since I started modding, because I realized, well, if the housing of the mod is rattling, then the logic would dictate that there's space. There's more space than it needs at the spots that it's clipping, and adding tape makes sense, because I mean, I looked it up. I'm like, how to make stabilizers stable, and I forgot which video I came across. It's one of the many, but I was like, hey, adding tape, well, now that makes sense. Alright, now let's take the rest of these and make some pads for where the stabilizers are going to sit. Oh, sorry, again, I hit my head. I hope my volume's okay. Well, I'm modding the board that we'll be sending to you, so but we do have some giveaways planned. Maybe who knows? But she could always modify. I'm going to send mine Plumber. I'm going to send the board we're making, or that I'm making, or customizing for you, I should say, with the Plumber's mod, and maybe you can have her do, like, do a comparison, do one Holy mod and one with the Plumber's mod, because I haven't done that. Probably be a good idea to do a video comparing, the two, like maybe either on the same board or two, exact same boards. Huh? There's the short out for the boot, is right underneath here. The pins for the there's a lot of different boards that have QMK VIA usually have a reset button or a short. That's where you basically, the best is using tweezers, just putting them right there, and going into reset mode in case the modifier key one won't, because there's different ones. You can use escape while plugging in your USB, space bar while plugging it in. There's different keyboards have different base ones until you actually go in there and program it, either upload new QMK configuration or VIA configuration. So all VIA boards are QMK capable, but all QMK boards are not necessarily VIA. And all that's really needed on most boards is a mapping file. And I'm going to try to, because I've been very interested in the Sonics QMK branch of the Sonics QMK branch, which is working on Sonics-based MCUs, which are used in a lot of the budget keys that a lot of us use. Basically, if you have a keyboard that turns on and the lights cycle, like to the middle and then turn on the other way, it has one of these chips that you can on many of these you can load the Sonics branch of QMK. I actually did it. I have a video. I haven't finished of adding QMK VIA to a Keychron C8, the TKL, the cheap basic one that doesn't, they don't come with QMK VIA from Keychron. So, and I was able to load it and it worked. I was able to map it. It had 4 layers, and I believe if I would have modified the config file, I could have actually given it 6 or 8 layers. I forget which it was, but all right, I need a couple more pads. I need 2 more, because those are padded. All right, 1. I know it's kind of fat. All right, but it's padded, so it's okay. All right, and the next one, 2. I don't know why, for the life of me, I cannot cut anything straight. This does have the capability for the 5 pins. It does have the extra hole, so you don't have to clip your legs off any switches. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let me put the anchors in. There's 2 for right now in the corners. It's not like it's falling apart on me here, because that pad's basically holding it in place. Now, let's see. These are the ones that I did. Let's see how we are now. Ah, see? So, I know not quite stock, but since it didn't come with stabilizers, hey, Now see how it's not rattling around? It's nice and snug because it's got a better grip, because we've added that extra probably 2 to 4/10 of a millimeter, however thick the tape is, probably 2/10 of a millimeter. But that difference, it made up for the difference in tolerance. Let's see, let's put a switch in here and see what we got. For this one, I am going with hey, look! I've been meaning to use this set for a while, but I've just been so busy. It's a really cute set. So, yeah, this is the Timeless Violet that Key Monkey put out. We got the extra, I believe it's 70? Is there 70? I'm not sure. Yeah, we got plenty of extras. I have not had a chance to use this yet, so I'm excited. But right now, we just need one of you. Let's take this one. Actually, let's go ahead and take the ones we're going to need. I'll find the other shift in a minute. Nicely packed set. So, let's see what we've got here. All right, I think that sounds good. So let's continue going. All right, put this tape away and get to the other tape. I've been trying to be better about putting things away because I forget and then I can't find it and then I get mad. Then I buy it, and as soon as I buy it, I find the original one. And it just makes for... Oh, wait a minute. That's why I put this away. I'm done with this. I already did all the bars. I just need to put them in the housings. Silly, silly me. I was going to redo the plumber's tape mod. We're here. We're sitting talking about it. Alright, so give me some housings. There's one. Maybe take that one apart. There's two. Make sure they're in there correctly. There's three. 4. 5. And 6. All right. So we're going to lubricate. I mean, I like to get them gooped up, but not too much. Not like it's dripping, but, well, no, like grease can drip, mind you. Oh, almost lost you. I nearly lost you there. Oh, I did lose you there. Alright, so we get it in, make sure to line it up with the bottom hole because it's a bit of an angle. Let me clip it in. Do the same thing for the other side. Get it greasy. Grab it. Going through the top. Line up the holes. Make sure you're going down a little bit at an angle. Oh, and make sure you're clipping it the right way. Oh, space bar. Got plenty of grease. I like to put a little bit of grease past the elbow. Alright, and we're not getting any fight from the housing, so that usually means that we've got a good fit with the plumber's mod. Like I said, you have to do it a little bit at an angle, kind of in towards the stem, and it'll slip right in. Oh, I don't know why I always do that. Alright. When I'm not looking, I always twist one way and one the other way. That'd be a funky stabilizer. Go through the hole, angle it down. If you feel it fighting, even if you know that you've got it angled down towards the top of the stem, stop. You've probably got to rewrap it at that point because it's too tight. If it doesn't fit in the hole, if you got to force it in, it's probably going to be too tight there. So just a little tip from your Uncle Mark. I know I'm not anybody's uncle. I'm just babbling, just so that there's not dead silence while I do this. All right, we've got the stabilizers ready. Let's put these puppies in now. Now, one thing I forgot to do over here. No, I'll do it in a minute. I obviously need more switches down to hold this plate because, like I said, there's nothing else holding this plate down but the switches. Yeah, let's just go ahead and this is one thing that I always tell everybody to make sure you do. It seems simple, but it's very important. Just push that tab to make sure that it's over the tape. That's going to make sure, really ensure that you're going to have a strong, wow, These keys are tight. Man, these keys are so tight. How tight are they? I want to take everything off with them. Yep, see, I hadn't done it with these. What'll happen is you'll pull the stabilizer off when that, if you don't do that. So, I forgot I was too much in a hurry. So yeah, those tabs, that's going to ensure not only that they stay in place, but it's going to be a grip. It clips it into place. Alright, so, let's go ahead and do this one. Goes that way. That foam is kind of fighting with me because it's bent out of shape. But now it's being held in place by the stabilizers, and that looks good. Alright, one more. Yep, that's the correct one. Just those don't go. Yeah. Alright, and this goes this way. Alright, now the clips. Alright. So yeah, even, it just goes just a little. It doesn't have to go too far, but that ensures they're nice and clipped. So, oh, we didn't grab that. I thought we grabbed the enter key. Oh, there it is. Yeah, no, that's the backspace. So, I hope that goes away. Let's put WD-40 on my keyboard. Nice and smooth. I think that sounds pretty good, in my opinion anyway. What do you think? I could play some music. I didn't have time to set that up. I wasn't even going to do this today because it's getting ready to celebrate Father's Day in a couple of hours. So I was just doing something real quick, but I hadn't done a video in a minute, so I was like, hey, let me go ahead and just do it up real quick, do a live stream, because it's easy, because I don't have to edit it. Well, not right now. It's got a nice little grate. Actually, it like lightens up as it goes down. I like that. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I actually kind of like it. So, sounds nice and good to me. So, let me just get the last key. Last stabilized key. Just want to get it in there. And we'll get the rest of the switches, and then we'll get the rest of the keycaps and do a full sound test. Oh. I get switching off. That's great. These are pretty tight. My goodness. All right, that was that was tight. That was really tight on there. So even doing this didn't help. They're tight. Now granted, I haven't used them yet, and usually new keycaps, I mean, they'll give you a little bit of a fight. These are pretty strong. I'm guessing that tolerances on that light is on that these stems. I mean, they look normal, but these are cherry profile, by the way. I'm sure you guys could tell anyway. Alright, and the shift key. All right, we got no rattling, and we got nice straight down motion. So let's go ahead and load these up. Actually, let me put it this way. But next time I will do the music. Next time I will do a background royalty-free music. I just got to set it up and find something that works and make sure that the levels are good and it's not interfering. All right, so I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to hope that's going to get rid of some of this that creak. And it's like, it's creaking to the extent that I want to spray it with WD-40. Not really, I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, I won't do that. That was a joke. So yeah, they got 5-pin, but because I'm using the Akko, obviously we don't need it. They're only 3-pin for more compatibility, but they are going in nice and easy. There's plenty of room on the plate for the switch. I've had some plates that are pretty tight. They can make for issues when sticking the switch into the socket. Speaking of, I probably should have listened. I don't know if it was you, Pigeon, or somebody else. I posted a board that I found on Amazon. It was $40. It shipped from China, and it was a TKL. It said hot swap socket, and I got it, and it's not hot swap. It doesn't even have Milmax sockets in it. It's a pure solder board, and it's funny because it's a case that's extremely similar. Excuse me. The shell of it is basically, I think I could take my Skyloom GK87 and stick it in there because it seems to be the exact same stud, size, everything. But the PCB, woo, PCB was one cheap mofo. So I'm waiting to send it back now. Probably should have taken pictures of it and made a post. It was pretty bad. But the seller is he's like, oh no, that's hot swap socket. That's where you put the hot swap socket. Like, no, you can't sell something as being a keyboard kit with hot swap sockets and saying that it just has a hole for you to install hot swap sockets. That's not how that works. That's called materially not as advertised. But unfortunately, I have had the bad luck of I tend to, I mean, don't get me wrong, I found good merchants on both Amazon and even Ali, but I still come across every once in a while. Now, granted, it's taught me to spot scammers right away. I mean, I just almost tried to get scammed the other day for a listing on eBay, and the person was like, yeah, I want it. You know, they gave me a bid even though I only had it to buy now, and I was like, okay, and I accepted the bid, and I sent them the invoice, and didn't hear anything from them for a day, and then the next day they sent me an email in like a Gothic Roman font, a really fancy font, and they're like, oh, so sorry, eBay is not allowing me to pay, it's giving me issues. This is my PayPal address, send me yours and I'll send you the payment directly. I was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, sure, let's go out of the eBay system, breaking their policy and putting me in a position where you're going to take my money, or take my item, and I'm not going to get paid for it. So I don't know what the extent of the scam was, as I didn't want to go any further into it, but I definitely, I mean, my alarm bells went off, and the fact that eBay is not catching this person, I went back, because I mean, you know, you don't get to choose. I wish eBay had that, like only show your listing to people with good ratings, so that you can make sure you're dealing with, you know, reputable buyers and sellers, and just skip, you know, like, don't show me new shops, don't show me shops in China, or show me shops in China that have a you know 95% rating or higher, or whatever. But yeah, scams are just aplenty nowadays. So obviously you You got to make sure that you're not going to let somebody take from you. Unfortunately, it is a dog-eat-dog world. All right, let me go to the next box. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention here. These, oh, the switches are the Aqua Lavenders. Unfortunately, I mean, like I said, I've dealt with good Chinese sellers, but I've dealt with plenty of bad ones too. Though I gotta say, I like KBD fans at KP Republic. They've been pretty good to me. I haven't had any issues. I know a lot of people have complained about KP Republic, but I haven't had a single issue with them. So I don't know. But I was like, wait a minute, it's missing a switch. It fell out. All right, so let's finish this puppy up. Yeah, these are the Aqua Lavender pre-lubed. I don't know if I finished answering your question. Nacho! Nacho cat? Then whose cat are you? Oh, ho, ho. If you're not my cat. I gotta remember to stay in frame. Probably could set up a camera like pointing like right here, but then I'd probably hit it all the time. I gotta find a better location for my camera, that's for sure. It works for right now, but I'd like to eventually have multi-camera, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, since all of this is, you know, my time and money, I try to save and put. I have a little budget for my every month. This is what I'm going to put into, whether it's a keyboard or stuff for my studio. Little by little, I think I'll build up a decent setup. I want to switch over to DaVinci Resolve for video editing. I'm using Shotcut right now, but unfortunately under Linux, it only accepts one codec, so I would literally have to, manually convert each and every source video file, and sometimes I'm dealing with a dozen or more, convert it to its particular format so that I could just even import it into the program. Now, yes, I could write a script that would take care of that for me on auto or semi-auto basis, but I don't know. So I'm actually considering, I do have a Mac Pro. What? Yes, I have a Mac Pro, but it's for development purposes because you cannot push an app. You can't, I can build a Macintosh app or an app, iOS app. Macintosh, listen, I'm giving my age away. Yeah, my fingers are a little greasy. So some of the lube must be coming off. But there's no way, and I just don't know how it's not considered a monopoly, honestly. I'm old enough to remember Ma Bell, AT&T, and all of the, the common carrier laws that came into effect. So monopolies are, it was under the law of, antitrust and monopoly, but iOS, they take it to a whole nother level, or Apple, I should say, because you cannot push an app to the App Store unless you do it from Xcode. And Xcode only runs on Apple. So, yes, I have a Mac Pro that I don't use except for when I'm pushing an app. Alright, so now let's load this lovely keyboard up. I'm just going to go ahead and use what I've got here for novelty. Oh. And then we'll go. These actually feel very nice. They're soft. Not slippery, but soft. I believe that these are double shot, but I don't remember. They're definitely PBT. Cherry Profile, Timeless Violet, which I had not used yet. And just, I know that I'm showing some Keep Monkey products here. I bought these. They are not, they're not sending me stuff. So my opinion is my own. I do like them, and minor issues I've had with orders, they have always stepped up and taken care of it and more than made up for it. So I like them. I think that they're trying to do good, and I think they've gotten better. I mean, they're fairly new into the game. They're based out of China, so obviously they have quicker access to stuff, and they were the first ones. I mean, I know a lot of people really don't know. I mean, yes, I know some people knew about the Tester 68 beforehand, but they white labeled it, and said they were, because I mean, when they first listed, when KeyMonkey first listed the Tester 68, which their version was the KBM 68 keyboard monkeys, which I have. It came in white, and it was first listed for $19.95. And when they posted to RMK, and I'm sure you can search and go look at the thread, they were like, this is BS. There's no way that you can, get a 65% keyboard for that cheap, and they're blowing smoke up your ass and all this and all that. And it's funny because they, despite all the negative, I mean, they got attacked. I would say almost harassed, and I was like, God damn. And then when they did actually come out with the board, not like any of those people were like, oh, I was wrong, you were right. I mean, sometimes we're human. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we cross the line. But as long as we are willing to say, hey, take responsibility for what you've done, it's, you're not growing. So not that I'm telling people how people should be, but, I mean, we're human. We make mistakes. But if they actually followed through, then give them credit. So I followed along with all that, and I saw how, they were treated. And this was around the time that I started the subreddit, Budget Keebs. And so I, like I said, I bought the KBM68, and God, I think that was one of the first videos I did, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was the Tester. Because at the same time, I also felt, well, not at the same time, just shortly after, Newfie, which makes low profile, primarily keyboards. They, I bought some from them because they had them in different colors. They had them in, it's orange, yellow, or it's neon yellow, neon green. It's kind of like right in the middle. And I can't remember the other color. And no, I don't have them. Yeah, the yellow green, which is this one. The orange one. Oh, and the black. The black with the yeah, this one. This one I love. This one. This one's very nice looking because I mean you can see that black, and obviously I use some black keys. But yeah, so I was I don't want to say there from the beginning, but I kind of started talking to them. I apologized on other people's behalf because I kind of felt shitty. Like, hey, why? Yeah. I mean, I understand having being skeptical of it, not actually coming, but seriously, I mean, they were just, I don't know. It was nope. Oh man. Oh no, hold on. I think we do have it. I was gonna say I was pretty sure this was compatible with the 60. Yeah, there we go. I had the wrong one. That's the 2.25, I believe. Or 2.0. I forget. Alright, so now we need the arrow. Well, let's do arrow. And now obviously I can program it, so I'm just going to do it the way that I like to set it up. Now it's cherry, so it's not going to be perfectly, yeah. Also, I got another page. Oh, wait a minute. That's the next key. Okay. What if I do? That's another nice thing about QMK. I mean, I know I can program it. I know I'll be able to put the keys where I want. So what about home? That's too tall of a home. Yeah, that's a first row. But it doesn't look like I have a second row home, does it? Page down, page out. Alright, those line up. So, which one could I put there that'll look nice? Is it? It's flint, sweet. Oh, let's see what it is. Oh. Nope, too tall. No, you definitely are going to have to worry about keys falling off of this. Sorry. Again. Put this away. Don't need that. Oh, I could use some of this. That's row 1 anyway, yeah. So row 2. Insert. Oh, I do use insert. But no. Oh, I guess that would be row 1 then. How about we use a novelty key? Let's see if we have, yeah. Nope. Nope. They're all going to be, yeah. Row 5. Yeah, row 5. Alright. Alright, this shouldn't be this big of a deal. Thought that was going to do it. How about this one? Still kind of squeaky, but I mean, you have to press really hard. Just typing it doesn't. This is going to sound really nice. All right, so second row, home, and one more. Oh, but that, no, this would be second row. This would be row 2. Bam! All right, so, yeah, sorry. I'm a little OCD about that. So, let's put this back. Make sure these keys are nice. This one goes like this. So take this, and then we have the extras here. All right. Now magic moment. In the middle, and we plug her in. Oh, looks like only the underglow RGBs are on. Huh. Let's see, do I have VIA installed? Nope. Let me install VIA real quick. Oh, my mouse went to sleep. Huh, there you are. I may need the VIA files, which I won't hear back from KeyMonkey until Monday, so I may not be able to program it then. Until then. Ah, there we go. Look. Whoa! Yeah. Alright, so if you like RGBs, look at this puppy. I mean, this is, alright, pull it up. Yes, allow VIA access. Oh. Huh. There, okay, there we go. Yeah, VIA is not finding it. So, I have to get the JSON hex files. As soon as I have them, I'll post them on Budget Keeps, and I'll also post it on this video so you guys have a link to it. But right now, how about we clean up and do a quick... Oh, wait a minute. We didn't put the feet on. How about we put some feet on here? Now, the way I like to do the... Oh, no, those are the flat ones. All right. Which one came off already? So this one, all right. I like to put the fat ones on the back. And obviously I'm going to try to do it as close to this corner, but not covering up the screw and not covering up the light. Alright. Do the same for this other side. These are, I think they're the same feet that came with the KBMG68. Now that was a gasket. That's a gasket. I could pull it out, but that's a whole other board, and we could probably get into it. So I'm not going to for right now. And now let's do the feet at the bottom. I'm going to do them right there because I want to cover up the lights. And right here. Alright, so now let me bring the microphone closer, and you don't need to look at my ugly mug while I do this. Turn up the volume on the mic. Try to clean up. I'm just trying to get closer to the keyboard so you guys can see, and also the microphone. So you can barely hear me, probably because the microphone's pointed at the keyboard right now. Alright, I'm just trying to get them straight. Sorry, guys. Alright. So this is the KBMG68Pro, and stock minus, what did I do? I did the plumber's mod, and I did the tape mod to the plate so the stabilizers would be more stable, and I'm using aftermarket. I think there's Sumson clip-in stabilizers. We've got Acrylic lavender switches. They're the pre-lube ones, and we're using Timeless Violet, which is also a Keycap set from KeyMonkey. So let's go ahead and cat hair. Oh, wait a minute. I know, I forgot. sure. Yeah, all right, all right. I need to. I've actually stopped recording before I do a sound test. All right, so here we go. Oh, sound test now. All right, so yeah, I think that actually sounds pretty damn good. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Sounds good? Yay? I like it. I mean, I don't like that creaking, but I didn't hear it during typing, so you know, it's not an issue during typing. And I think, yeah, my mind's racing thinking of how to get rid of that, but like I said, I don't think it's a problem because I'm not, I mean, you don't hear it while typing, even if I'm typing hard. You don't hear any of that creaking, but I think it sounds pretty good. Well, I'm going to take some pictures of this for the cover of the video that I'll eventually edit this down and speed up the parts where I'm, you know, going through and add some audio, obviously, to the beginning where I lost. But oh, the flex. It's there. It's how would I compare it? See, look at that. See how far down the USB port goes. And that's why I don't think I can do the. If I did the silicone, I'd get rid of the flex. So. There's definitely, if I had to guess, it's about maybe 2-3 millimeters of space of travel. I said, hey, you said WD-40 too. Well, that's what I was thinking, but I'm not going to get WD-40 on this keyboard. Yeah, it is really decent flex. I mean, it's a $60 keyboard. QMK. Buy it. And it's, I mean, for those who love RGB, don't get me wrong. It's not that I hate RGB, it's just that RGB is kind of more of a, I don't know, it's playful. It's something like, look how cool, you know, but I usually either turn it off or turn it to a color that accentuates the, whatever keycaps I have on there. But this, I mean, I've got a few stacked acrylics, but this is a CNC acrylic. This is, yeah, my first CNC acrylic, two-part gasket case. And it satisfies, because, I mean, we're not going to have any interference. I mean, because we've got cherries that are south-facing. Cherries on south-facing, on a south-facing PCB. The only thing they could have done better, well, I mean, besides that squeak, I don't know what that squeak is. I'm going to reach out to them and see if they know something that I can do to get rid of that. But for the price, the only thing that I would have liked, but I mean, I could live without, is to have both screw-in and plate-mounted stabilizers. Unfortunately, with this particular PCB, that's not possible. Whoever designed it, the traces are going through the spots where you would need the holes to screw in the stabilizer. So, but that said, with, you know, a little bit of tape mod, oh, see, that's why I don't need to be doing that. The space bar stops and starts recording, so apologize for that. But so it's this is nice. I just need the VIA file so I can program it, and I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to use it for a few days as my daily, and report back. But I like it. I think that for the value, if you're just getting into it, this is a perfect thing. Not only to learn the different parts. I mean, obviously, I wish it did come with stabilizers, but that's neither here nor there because you can buy them. But I would have paid a little bit more for them to have included stabilizers, especially one because the plate on this is probably 1.2 instead of 1.6, which is, well, anywhere between 1.2 millimeter and 1.6 seems to be the standards for plates. But if they could have included some that, you know, were basically the size for the plate, I would have gladly paid, you know, an extra 10 bucks. That said, I think this is a great starter kit. You know, you're not going to have to worry about interference because of the cherry caps, which, I mean, yes, there's a lot of fixes. Long stem poles are sticking a little bit of paper, a tiny little piece of paper in the key that goes on either just the middle row or all the rows, because I mean, apparently there's some whatever. I know I did find interference when I said it before, but to me, it's not that big of an issue. Anyway, but for somebody starting out, I think this keyboard would be a great entry point, because not only is it nice looking, I mean, I know you could set certain, you know, with VIA, well, it might need QMK depending on how it's set up, but I'm sure with VIA, you should be able to set it to like one color, you know, like maybe do the change of color underneath or do the whole thing as one color that accentuates your keyboard. So instead of like, I do a lot of spray painting of cases, you can actually, like I said, I don't have it now, so I don't know what the modifiers are for going to a, I mean, it looks like this is hue, but it's circling through and, okay, that one changes it. See if we can get it to a solid color. Okay, and then all right, see? There we go. So we can, basically we're adjusting hue there. So there, I mean, look at there. I just got a purple keyboard case. I mean, obviously, yes, I know it's not, but, I mean, I hope that's coming through. That's kind of bright. But, did I turn off my, yeah, I did. Oh, I completely, oh man. Alright, well, I screwed up and accidentally removed my camera somehow, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I can't wave because you can't see, actually, no, you just see me upside down. So I do this, right? Yep. So, I hope everybody enjoyed. I will be posting pictures on the sub shortly, and then once I get a chance to edit everything down, I will edit it down into a shorter video of the build. I don't think I need to do any more modifications to this, honestly. I mean, like I said, if I did anything at the bottom, it's not like it's hollow, but I would lose this lovely flex. I mean, it's nice. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned. Like I said, I like it. I think this is a great board, so much so that I'm going to use it as a daily driver and see what comes of it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. For the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. It's not an easy task to do, but when we do it, and we do it to our best, it's extremely important. I hate to be cliche, but the children are the future, and I wish we were leaving them a better world, but as fathers, you know, parents, period, have it hard some days, especially through everything that's been going on. But anyway, have a wonderful holiday, and I love you all, you guys. I really do. Peace to everyone, and be well.